Hello everyone, welcome to Real Advice. Today we're reviewing the first season of the recently released Netflix horror series Ju-On Origins. The show is based on the popular Japanese horror franchise of the same name, Ju-On. It is no surprise then that the premise of the show is very similar to other Ju-On entries. This time, a paranormal researcher looks obsessively for a cursed hope where something terrible happened to a mother and her child long ago. The house, he believes, brings a curse to not only those who inhabit it, but to also those who mistakenly step inside its premises. Faithfully, a young actress seeks his help as she and her partner have started experiencing paranormal activity themselves after her boyfriend chanced upon a very cheap house for sale. The researcher believes that this is the house he has been looking for years. Will the researcher be able to finally find the house, unveil its secrets, and finally stop its evil? Now, before we start with our review, we would really appreciate it if you could like, share, and subscribe to our channel if you enjoyed this video. Unfortunately, there's nothing really scary about you on Origins, but that should be the least of your worries. The 6 episode long first season was not only a snooze fest, but it's a very incoherent one at that. Worse, it leaves off a lot of unanswered questions, and the real mystery behind the cursed house is never really revealed. To be honest, we actually had high hopes for Ju-On Origins, that it will bring a very different kind of horror into the Netflix platform. Not that Netflix hasn't had success in previous tries, as we absolutely adored 2018's The Haunting of Hill House. Unfortunately, Ju-On Origins was one of the worst horror experiences we've had. First, there's really nothing scary about it. There are pockets of ghost activity, but these rarely show up, maybe a few times per episode at best. But our worst grievance of all for the first season was its approach on story and character development, or the lack of it. There are numerous characters in the first season, but we really don't get to know them well. Some key characters eventually die off, but we really didn't care at all for their demise. Worse, some characters conduct acts of violence, but there's really no clear explanation if their motives for these are due to the house's influence or by their own will. As for the story, it was a complete mess. Not only was it hard to follow, but it really doesn't explain anything at all. By the time the credits rolled in the final episode, most questions we had still remained unanswered. It doesn't help that it involves time jumps or an aspect of time travel similar to a Christopher Nolan film that adds up even more to the confusion. Episodes lasted half an hour, and with 6 episodes in the first season, it seemed that Ju-On Origins needed the typical 10 episode run to at least flesh out its story. Besides its outstanding sound design and gruesome and no holds barred gore, Ju-On Origins was a total disappointment for us. Our rating for Ju-On Origins is 1 reel out of 5.